I used to mourn, and now I help people move into acceptance. And don't worry, it's not going to be a tearjerker. So the one earlier had me crying, like, oh. Anyway, when we experience loss, we often pull inside ourselves, creating a cocoon. There's a lot of reasons for that. The world doesn't feel safe anymore. We've heard a lot of those stories today. And so you need to retreat, to regroup. But you also need to recreate yourself. It's a metamorphosis. Whatever you lost, whoever you lost, it's no longer there. You've got to become a better person, a bigger person to fill that void, to not miss that anymore. You need to become a more beautiful you, a stronger you, a new you, a butterfly. So when I was a year old, my father died from cancer. At the time, the doctor said that was the worst time for him to die. My brain was developed enough that I kind of knew what was going on, but not enough to process what had happened. All I knew really was this man who had been there for all my life at that point was gone. And there was a lot of strife involved. My mom was pregnant with the second kid, and she kind of had a lot going on her plate too. So I built this cocoon around me. It's instinctual. You just retreat. And I grew up with this cocoon. It was just who I was. I didn't have any memory of life without the cocoon, so I didn't know how to get through it. I would look at my friends and I'd be envious of them. They have something I don't. I didn't know what it was. It was freedom. They weren't trapped in this cocoon. I had made the cocoon, but I didn't know I had made it. I didn't know how to get out. In my early 20s, a couple of things happened to break my cocoon. I found interior design, first of all. I love what I do. I fell in love with it because it's psychology, sociology, history, and furniture. What more could a girl want? And through that, I also found out about the power of color. Color affects us in so many ways. It affects how much we eat, how we sleep, how we feel, what we think. And I used color not just in how to create designs, but how to have people see me. I used color to affect how I felt in my own skin, to find the beauty in me. Not just the outer beauty, like she said, but the inner beauty. I found that power within myself through color. At the same time, I was very fortunate, and I found a healer who was able to I had asthma at the time. I should back up. I had asthma at the time, and I couldn't breathe, and I couldn't cry. Anybody have asthma? You can't cry. It's a really horrible thing. So when you get all stressed, you don't have that release, because then you can't breathe. So you shut it down. This person was able to allow me to grieve for my father for the first time. I spent 20 odd years of my life with this cocoon around me, and I didn't know how to grieve. I knew it was there. I knew I'd run into things and say, oh, this is because of my father, this is fear, this is stupid fear. I'd kick myself in the butt and I'd move forward and do it anyway. But it didn't stop it from hurting. It didn't stop that wall from being there. So I was finally able to cry. Now, after having asthma for several years, being able to cry was a joy in and of itself. But being able to cry for him was sobbing. It wasn't crying. It was 2 hours of sobbing. And I got a towel. Forget the Kleenex. No room for Kleenex. And I went to my closet and had a bunch of different colors of towels. And I said, I need the green one. I gotta have green. And I went into the room in my house that had the most green in it, and I just couldn't get enough green around me that day. And I sobbed and I cried, and for the first time in 25 years, I felt that relief. And about a week or so later, I was thinking about what I did. Green is a healing color. It's an emotionally healing color. And green helps you deal with change. And I had instinctively gone for the color that would help me the most. And once I made that realization, I said, oh, forget what they're teaching me in design. I got a whole new world. This is fantastic. I'd seen how much space planning had changed things. I'd seen how much changing a design in a home could help somebody. But when I saw this, I said, oh no, there's a whole new level of healing. There's a whole new dimension. They're not even touching on it in school. That's what it's all about. Our homes are an extension of us. They're a reflection of who we are. You know, you hear people say, I just can't go to bed unless the dishes are done. Well, if you're living in a house that doesn't give you energy, and that's what I'm all about, is creating a house that reflects your energy, gives you energy, and reflects your personality. I help take you out of that cocoon, and I bring you into your butterfly.